Hello and welcome to Talk Wargaming. In front of me here I have a very interesting sprue. It's something I'm very excited to show off, and it is in fact the hard plastic Enforcer Peacekeeper sprue for Deadzone, which will be soon becoming available. Now, I don't think anyone else actually had a chance to look at these close up in a video form yet. I've seen the pictures on the Deadzone Kickstarter, but that's about it. But I've actually got them here in physical form, and I've had to kind of restrain myself from actually clipping these off and building the miniatures because they're just that good. So the first thing that it's probably key to point out is these are hard plastic. They are no longer in the kind of plastic resin that we've had to deal with in terms of the current Deadzone Enforcers and the Warpath Enforcers. So that's always a bonus because it's so much easier to work with, and it does allow this kind of format of you've got a sprue, you've got all these extra components on there, you can mix and match and do some interesting conversion work as well. So that's great news that they've Mantic are actually moving forward into more hard plastic kits, because it's got to fuel our plastic crack addiction after all. I mean, this is the kind of thing that we really want to have. Secondly is probably the amount of kind of options that you get on here. I mean, compared to what's currently available for the Peacekeeper armor, the only thing you've got is the captains, pretty much. That's about it. So the fact that we've got a whole array of weapons here, we've got kind of the flame weapons, the normal assault rifles, the pulse rifles, and we've got these kind of shields as well. So it's kind of an excellent array of options that we can use on the miniatures. So not only are we getting the Enforcer Peacekeepers in plastic form, we're also getting the generic, less heavily armoured Enforcers in plastic form as well, which is equally great news as they come on a similar kind of sprue format to this. You get 2 sprues and you get like 5 guys, and everything's hard plastic, and you get various weapon options. So it's excellent to see more of this hard plastic kits coming for Deadzone. So now that we have kind of an overall view of the sprues, let's zoom in and get a closer look at some of the detailing on these pieces. So let's start at the heads, and here we have 7 different options for you. This guy here is very similar to the Enforcer Captain that you get in the Deadzone kits. You've also got a few guys who've got different kind of visor variations, and he's got like antennas and things like that. Moving on to some of the weapon options, and you can see there's quite a lot of detailing in these. You've got all these kind of pipes, and we've got like the clips and the triggers and the fingers, and they're very, very nicely detailed. Let's flip it over and get a look at the other side. So very much the same kind of style as those seen on the current Enforcer sprues, in the hard plastic, not Enforcer sprues, sorry. And there's the arms, and there's the heads again, and here are the bodies as well. They're very, very kind of in the same kind of style as the Enforcer Captain. However, they are a little bit smaller, and if I just bring in one to kind of show you a comparison, it's slightly less bulky, the hood isn't as big, and I think the chest is also slightly smaller, and I think this is probably intentional because then you don't want this guy kind of getting overshadowed by the rest of the squad. But I've kind of intentionally left the head off this one because I want to see if these heads are also compatible, which is great news if it is. So let's move on to the next sprue, which contains the very interesting kind of combat shields, and you can see like the armoured segmentations and where they attach on the back with the kind of like the forearms. So we have the legs here, a little bit of green stuff got stuck. I really like these legs. You kind of see the, where are they? There you go, the pistons on the inside, and it's like this really heavy duty armour, and we have some of the kind of the arm weapon options as well there. We've got like the weapons and the blade as well, and these other body, and some more of the legs. Now, what is also interesting is actually quite an interesting pose that you'll be able to pull with these. You've got this kind of bent leg here, and you've got another one, where is it? There as well. So this guy you can have crouching out, which is quite a dynamic pose for such quite a large and bulky character, a lot more so than the kind of one that we've seen already in the Enforcer. So as you can see, you've got all these little bits as well that you can add on, and it's just kind of full of detail, this entire sprue is. So it's great because you've got not only got the options to choose what you want, you've also kind of got the much easier material to work with, and I can probably show you as well that there are mold lines, but they are extremely more reduced than those seen on the plastic resin, which would make assembling these a dream in comparison. You can probably see them better on some of the legs as well. You can just about make out that one on the side there. So much easier to work with, and they look phenomenal. So let's actually clip one of these off and take a look at it fully assembled. Here we have the assembled Enforcer Peacekeeper, and as you can see I've gone for more of a generic kind of pose that he's just standing there with his gun raised and he's shooting at the moment. Let's bring in some of the other miniatures just to get a kind of sense of scale as to what we've got here, and he's very similar in size to the Peacekeeper Captain, which is expected because of the similar armour, and is ever so slightly bigger than the generic Enforcer as well. So it was so much easier to assemble this guy. The pieces were just that much easier to kind of clean up. You can use plastic glue on these as well rather than having to use super glue, which is always, for me, an easier option because you kind of get that chance to kind of pose things before you actually set them in place. It's definitely an improvement over the plastic resin that we've seen on these two guys here. I'd say the only kind of slight downside that we've got to the hard plastic over using the plastic resin is some of the edges, especially those on the shoulder pads. They're a lot kind of more defined and kind of sharper on the plastic resin than they are on the hard plastic, but I mean it's only a very, very small thing, and to be honest I'd much rather have this kind of hard plastic than this plastic resin any day. So very happy with the completed result. So much easier to kind of assemble like a whole group of these with them being hard plastic, and I'll probably be getting lots of these, including some of the Enforcer sprues as well. So that was the preview of the Enforcer Peacekeeper sprue and the assembled miniature which it makes. Very excited for these to come out at retail, and I'll probably get in a whole host of these because it's just so much easier to work with, and I really like the look of them and the options that you get. So be sure to stay tuned and subscribe to our channel to find more product reviews, more things related to Mantic and tutorials, all those things like that, and also visit us at talkwargaming.com for more of the same thing. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.